or follow us on Facebook and Twitter to keep up with the latest UCTV programs.
We went into the homes of 32 families. The families all had parents who worked, both parents worked outside the home at least 30 hours a week.
And we designed an ethnoarchaeological component that really addressed the questions of how people use their built environments, how they use space, how they interact with their material culture, the material worlds of middle-class, dual-income families with children.
Come in. I like this chair.
And we systematically documented what people have in their homes, where they keep it.
And it was that first day when I saw he had a camera, he's taking pictures. Mm-hmm. And we had tidied up. And when I heard the first cupboard open, and I went, oh no. He's taking pictures of the insides of the cupboards too. All of these little figurines and the napkins and things. And
the archaeologists counted every single thing in every single space, every single room. So we have a document of the number of objects that are in kids' rooms, the number of objects that are in kitchens and living rooms. It's really fascinating.
One of the things that we discovered and documented is that contemporary U.S. households have more possessions per household than any society in global history. And hyper-consumerism is evident in many spaces like garages, corners of home offices, and even sometimes in the corners of living rooms and bedrooms and the kitchen and the top of the dining room table.
Shower stalls.
There's the shower stalls. We find lots of stuff.
Piles
of stuff.
Mountains.
And it's clearly in some of these households creating some significant stress for the families, particularly the mothers.
The finding was that women who looked around their homes and saw clutter and remarked on the clutter and remarked on the effect of the clutter on their lives, mainly that it was it was like an ever-present, continuing, ongoing burden for them to manage, that those women, when we looked at the cortisol levels of the women, their cortisol was very high.
Yeah, so this is, yes, a very crowded bedroom. All the reading that I haven't gotten done.
A house could be full of clutter and nobody cares.
That's right.
So,
that's right.
And it was generally the case that men, they didn't even remark on the clutter. So there's a greater tendency to remark on the clutter if it bothers you, if you're the one who's responsible for tidying it up.
We have lots of stuff. We have many mechanisms by which we accumulate possessions in our home, but we have few rituals or mechanisms or processes for unloading these objects, for getting rid of them.
Things come in from all sides, they really do. They come in from gifts and birthday parties and holidays and from relatives and those kinds of things, and school and treasures, as I call them. I have always been a treasure hoarder. So, you know, a rock or a branch or something, and my kids then ended up that same way.
There are a lot of forces that encourage us to consume, and obviously this is the entire advertising industry, right? Millions of dollars invested to get us to purchase things. This book is really meant to get us to think about how we consume objects, to think about the number and types of toys we consume and give to our children.
The United States has 3.1% of the world's children, but consumes 40% of the world's toys.
Of course, children in all societies have something that is similar to toys, but the sheer quantity of toys is really astonishing from the cross-cultural point of view, and how the the toys spill out everywhere in the house as well is also staggering.
We found in the study that children's toys and objects were in living rooms. They were in spare bedrooms. They were in their own rooms, of course. They were in kitchens. They were even sometimes in master bedrooms.
There's some blurriness to the idea of a toy because the parents have a lot of sentimental involvement in these toys as parents. And one of the things we soon realized is that the toys themselves were toys for the parents as well as for the children. The house actually had a kind of child culture about it as a whole, or it became a child-centered house.
Some of it's nostalgia, right? I mean, Snoopy, he's a cultural icon. How many children actually, recognize Snoopy in the contemporary? I think Snoopy's almost an artifact of, of our childhood. I think the sheer density and availability and fairly inexpensive array of objects that are out there, this has significantly changed over the last 50 years. We found cheaper ways to produce more stuff. And because of that, there is more available. The reality is that we're perhaps spending more on children's material culture, on toys, than ever before in the history of humanity.